Welcome to Insights, and today I am interviewing Matt Bennett. Thank you for being with us, Matt.
Yeah.
Matt is a longtime friend, and he's just had some interesting travels. But Matt, before you explain that, tell us what you do.
I work for Christian Union. Our focus is Christian leadership development for national revival and reformation. Most of our work is at the university campus. We're focused on a few of the most influential, academically intense universities in the U.S. Stanford, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Dartmouth, Cornell, these sorts of schools. But we also do work with adults in New York and D.C., and then online through dayandnight.org.
Yeah, so the idea is that if we can reach these future leaders, we could really impact culture.
Right, and especially that we strengthen them to be really strong in the faith. We want to see them come to faith, but then also be dynamic Christian leaders.
Amen. Now, Matt, you have been on some interesting journeys recently. Tell us where you went, tell us what happened, tell us what is going on out there.
Well, it was a real privilege to travel. 13 of us with Christian Union joined up with George Otis, who years ago put out a documentary on revival happening in the Fijian Islands. And talking with him a year ago, he said that this was still going on. And so a group of us went out to learn, to hear about what God was doing, and saw a lot of remarkable things there. There are about 1,000 plus villages, and this team has gone in and seen miracles happen in about 100 of them. And so we got to see and hear the testimony on how the land itself changed. These villages are dependent on the land. They grow food and fruit trees, and they also the sea. They harvest fish and crabs and mussels and all these sorts of things. And the miracles that they described were amazing. In some cases, whole coral reefs where there's a lot of fruitfulness in terms of fish and mussels and all this sorts of stuff that had been dead had come back to life, which apparently, according to scientists, is extremely rare, if not impossible sort of thing to happen. And they showed us all the crabs that they had. They showed us some of the fish that didn't even exist, the species before, and now that they were there was amazing. And then they pointed to us to fruit trees that they used to bear fruit once a year, normally in season, but now they bear fruit continually, just all year round, just continually bearing fruit, which is amazing. Lots of stories of the actual land itself being changed, and because they depend on the land, this is everything to them. This is being able to provide for their families. And one other story which was really remarkable, and this happened some years ago, and I'd heard about it, but I got to meet and talk to the people. But there's one village, they had a stream through the village where they would get fresh water, and it had become poisonous. And they even had the government come out and test it and said, no, don't get anywhere near this or use this or whatever else. Well, it came back to life. It became unpoisonous. And the government tested it, and they said it was totally fine. But what was amazing was that it happened in this one village, and the stream in the land of the other village, before it comes in, it was still poisonous. And then after it flowed to another village, it got poisonous again after this village. And so, I mean, it's really hard to believe, but talking to all the people who saw it, but then those other villages experienced a move of God, and their water got healed as well. So really, really incredible. It's one thing to hear about it and see a documentary. It's another thing to go and talk to all the eyewitnesses.
That is so awesome that you could go there and actually observe it. So you're saying that the fruit of the land came forth through the people getting right with God.
Yeah.
And so that was at the heart of the revival, is the people getting their hearts right with God.
Yeah, it's 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people will humble themselves and pray and seek my face, I will hear them and forgive their sin and heal their land. And it's been a literal healing of the land as they turn to God.
That is stunning. So let's do another Insights video. And I want to hear, I think our viewers want to hear as well, what was at the ignition point of this revival? Like, how did this start? I realize you just shared 2 Chronicles 7:14, but how did that play out? Because it seems like the results were so dramatic. So can you join us again next week?
Yeah, let's do it.
We look forward to being with you next week to finding out the secrets that unlock the doors to these Fijian Christians. We'll see you next week.